YouTube Tuesday from Barnabas Junction, brought to you in association with the Model Railway YouTube Community Group, MRYCG, connecting the Model Railway community together. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. Just search for MRYCG.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a slightly earlier than normal YouTube Tuesday for me, Barnabas Junction. I'm Jason, and I'm your host for the next 45-50 minutes. It's a shorter show tonight, as we all know. If we do follow the football, England are kicking off at 8 o'clock tonight with their match, which will be the decider whether they get through to the next round on the Euros. So that's why the show's a little bit earlier, because those of you who do want to watch the football, don't miss out on the show. I know I did a poll on the group, on the community of this channel, and majority of people said just go ahead with the normal time. But the second best voting was obviously do a slightly earlier one and be finished by the time kickoff. So I've gone with that one because I do actually want to watch it myself. I don't necessarily follow football that much, but it's quite an interesting one tonight. So I do actually want to watch it myself. So bringing it a little bit early tonight, and it will be a slightly shorter show than normal. I haven't got any modelers moments sorted for tonight, unfortunately, but we'll still do the shout outs. The modelers moment, I've got a list of others that have sent their stuff in, and I have been in touch with a couple of them. I'm not sure if any of them are in chat just yet. But I've been back in touch with them because they've only sent a couple of photographs, and basically if I just showed a couple of photographs it'll be over in 10 seconds. So I've just asked for a few more photographs and other clips, because some have just sent YouTube clips, and one is it's easier if you send me a little video that I can put into a reel that I can just play out. Obviously there'll be full links to the channel and everything going out to that, but only a snippet video, obviously about 30 seconds maximum, a minute. That's all that I call for. So if anyone has got any interest in being on Modelers Moments, please get in touch with me directly by email at barnabasjunction@gmail.com. I'll get the emails to come through, and I'll go through. Obviously there'll be the Modelers Moments. It's one per episode, and they'll be going out in first come, first sent in, first one that will go out. So I've got a couple, two or three, I think three I've got lined up. So a couple of weeks to go, no problems on getting them in. So good evening to everybody in the chat already. Let's have a look. Let's get back to the beginning. Flymo's in. Great to have you here, Flymo. My excellent moderator. one of my excellent moderators. So good evening. Thank you very much, IMO, for joining us again. Hamel Down Model Railway, good evening to you. Crossways Point Junction, good evening to you also. Simon Trains Model Rail Showcase, good evening to you. Flint Hills, Jeff is in. Good evening, Jeff. How are you? Mark, great to see you back, Mark. I'm early for once. No, I'm early for once. It's great to have you. I hope you're feeling much better, Mark. Great to see you back home. Effingham is in. Who else? I'm not expecting many in tonight. West Junction TMD is in. Hi all. Hi Jason. Hi all in chat. So yeah, quite a few of you in. Only showing 12 in so far. I'm not expecting. I didn't even expect that many, to be honest. But I'm only expecting a small number of people to join in. But I didn't want to necessarily. Well, I did give the option of obviously having a week off for this particular one. But I thought, nah, let's still get the show going. I've got a few things to show you that I've done since last week, after what we mentioned, if you were following last week, with the village scene. And I've got a website to talk about regarding some model railway kits. So that will be coming in a moment. But first of all, what I need to do is pull up the channel members. Thank you, as always, to all those that are channel members. Thank you for supporting me in the progress of this show and other things on the channel. So a big thank you to the Train Freak, Owens Model Railways, Leicester Station and TMB, Building the ELR Step by Step, Simon Trains Model Railway Showcase, Jeff Hammond of Flint Hills Model Railway, Crossways Point Junction, Eagle Creek Yard, Darren Faulkner, Sparky 107, Donegal Dad, Mike Pringle, Dave Smith, Paul Cynic, Containerman 68, Hollybrook Junction, that's Al, the Growler of Blackwood Engage, Chris Jubb of Hernborough, New Durham Junction Model Railway, Stephen Lockhart of Route 7 Railway, Valley Brook, Charlie McGowan, John A. Dawson, Effingham and Micro Scenics. All links to those channels that are channel supporters are in the video description below. Please go check them out. And if you do like it, please do subscribe to them. They will appreciate your subscription. And remember, interact with any channel that you do subscribe to. At least every couple of weeks is best off for doing. So a huge thank you to all of those that are channel members. If you want to become a channel member and get access to some exclusive perks of behind-the-scene videos, early access to videos that are being published here on the channel, and also some extra little things like some photographs that I post on there. They are accessible to members only. And once you do become a channel member, you also get access to the members only Facebook group, where we have lots of chats and discussions about model railways and also postings of some of the exclusive stuff that are just for channel members. A link to that Facebook group will be issued once you do become a channel member. Just on a note on that, any channel members that decide they want to terminate their membership, which is quietly up to you, it's totally voluntary. You do only, once that your membership has terminated, you get 48 hours to left in the Facebook group, and then you will be dropped out back to normal viewership. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Excuse me. Got in early on the drinks for tonight, ready for the match. So I'm on the old Coors Light, the old large can. So let's have a look at who we've got in the chat at the moment. And I'm going to say, as we've only got the one moderator in this evening, I'm going to give Flymo the full reign to post out any channels that are here in the chat. Links to every channel, or as many channels as possible. You can see, Flymo, in the chat tonight. They all get a link shout out in the chat. So for this week, 1 week only, Flymo, you have full access to share everybody's links that are in the chat. So it's a full show of yes, it's a full show of shout-outs, all courtesy of our moderator this evening, Flymo Chairman 1. He has the reins tonight to be posting out as whoever he sees fit to receive a shout-out. And I'm saying everybody that's in the chat right now deserves a shout-out. So all those I've already mentioned. I've not seen any more names come up in the chat. So there we go. Flymo is already on the case, posting links to everybody's channels. If you are not subscribed to any of these channels, please do if you like what you see, please do subscribe. And from what I can see in the chat right now, there are a lot of channels that really do appreciate and I really do encourage you go check out if you're not already a subscriber. And I guess, again, when you do click subscribe, click the bell next to the subscribe button and click on all of the notifications to make sure you don't miss out on any notifications from any of the channels that you are subscribed to. And also make sure you interact with those channels. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch to a different camera just to give you a view of, I think it's that one. So all being well, we've got the right camera coming on. Yes, it is. It's glowing. So here's the village scene at this moment in time. And straight away, you will notice we have the fencing in, and it is nice and solid and secure. I decided to go with the green that matches the footbridge. And that stretches all the way around. If I just move the camera, that goes all the way around, and you can just see the other camera over there, up to the bridge. And it comes round here and stops just here where that wire is, which is for the camera. Let me move it out of the way. Just leaving a gap there for the footpath to be connected up to. So that was essential. It was essential that I got that fencing in first. Good evening, David Cook. Good evening to Hollybrook Junction joining us this evening. By the way, Jason, you had the church photobombing you at the start of the video before you switched. I know. I did that on purpose. Hang on, let me just switch it back, Simon. If anyone hadn't noticed, see the church tower? It's there. It was photobombing me, and that was done purposely to see whether anyone does. So well done, Simon. So let's switch it back over to the camera, which is over in this corner. So yes, let me just move that out of the way because we're going to be talking about that in a minute. So I've got the fencing in. It is painted. It's spray painted. It was primed first. And I have to admit, this fencing looks absolutely fantastic, especially when you get a low down shot looking through to the railway lines. When you're seeing the trains come through, that fencing looks absolutely superb. And it does match the fencing where I go and do my line side spotting as well. If anyone hasn't seen it, go check out my Out and About series where you see me doing some line side spotting on the West Coast Main Line. What I did do is I left a nice gap, as you can just see, between the ballasting and the fencing. That's so I can now get some ballasting finished off on that very edge, and it goes all the way down. I think it's about an inch gap. And then I'll say I can add some shrubbery and overgrowth around this edge. And I will be doing a little bit of trees and overgrowth on this side as well. Because what I plan to do is put in places, not necessarily here, but if I just move the camera, this section here, I'm going to along the church front. So it'll be a little bit there. And then as it comes along, it'll get quite loosely there. And then when it goes around the back of the church, I want to put a nice long row of pine trees, conifers, along there. And that will represent the churchyard, which is here in Crewe, which is up against the West Coast Main Line, which has a long line of trees along it. And I want it's my little bit of a representation of that churchyard. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tilt that camera down so you can get a different view from the opposite side. So let me just switch that camera back. So there you see, there's the fencing coming along this side. I'll just turn that down, tilt it down, and you can see it comes along. Oops. Oh, put the light on. Oh, that's all right, actually. So it comes along. I've left the gap, as I said, all the way along, and that comes under to the footbridge. Sorry, the bridge as well. So nice gap for a bit more ballast and also for some shrubbery along the edge. Somerset Andy, good evening to you. Thanks for dropping by. 17, yeah, actually a lot more than I anticipated on the show tonight. Some very nice ones at all, and everyone's great stuff. Flymo is posting links away. Yes, so great. Oh yeah, it's doing superbly. Right, so what I want to do is I want to bring that camera to there. I'll just put the cable out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to switch back over to this camera again. And I want to show you what I've done here. You're not sure whether it's... Oh, you can just see it on the camera. Yeah, you can just make it out on the camera. Excuse the lighting. So let me get a pointy. Here we go. We've got a pointy. So you may see on this area here and just around the edges here, especially in front here, you can just see some lines. And I'll just show you. You can see inside the pub area, you'll see where I've been marking out. Oh, that's better. You can see where I've been marking out where I think. Where's that light coming from? There's a light coming from. There we are. Ah! So there's a here. You can't really see very well, can you? Is it over the camera? You can just there. You can see now. I've marked out where picnic tables or beer tables will feature in front of the church. Not in front of the church, in front of the pub. Might as well be the church. Let's have a look at that. So, yes, that's better. I was just wondering why it was a bit blurred, but I'm looking on the wrong resolution for the show. Yeah, it's only on 480 for some reason. Let me just switch my devices so I'm watching it in 720. Crossways Point Junction saying thank you very much, everyone. I'm nearly on 200 subscribers. Everyone's saying thanks for the shout outs. Hit the like button, folks. Thank you very much, Flymo. Yeah, you're in charge. Excellent stuff. So what I've basically done is to give me a rough idea of where certain things would be on this little village scene. If I just move that around a little bit more, if I just give it a bit more cable. So in the center here, you can just see a circle with a little bit of a cross in it. That's where I'm planning to have a monument. Let's get my pointer again. So I'm planning to have a bit of a monument in the middle. We did mention last week whether we should have tarmacked, cobbled or gravelled, and I think everybody went for a gravel road area around here. So I will be applying the Woodland Scenics fine gravel to this area, as we mentioned last week. That is going to go in. So that I wanted to do that so I know which areas to put the glue down before I sprinkle the ballast on. Now, I don't know if anyone has noticed that the pub has now lost its base. Where is it? I took the base off the pub, just pieces of card with a few flower pots on the front. I may recover those and use them on this scene. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It came off pretty easy. It wasn't stuck down that well. And that was the bit that had the rear building, which I'll just move you around. The rear building, that has now been reattached back to the main building and works well as a bit of a blockage between the garden and the side. But I might move this slightly away, so then obviously overgrowth, and maybe have a little gate there for people to come round. Maybe, I don't know, bins and stuff would be around the back end of the pub, or I could just falsify by putting a bit of a doorway on that side of the pub. So yeah, the base has now been removed, which I think has improved the pub, and I can do my own decoration on that. Now, Mark, do you recognise what's in the stone walling? You should do. Blackberry Forest Railway, Andrew Johnson, I've just replied to your email. I've just sent you some more pictures and 1 or 2 short clips. How many should I send? Send as many as you wish, and I will do my best to put them as much of them as I can together. Yes, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Blair Gowrie Forest Railway, Andrew Johnson. Yes, one of the people that have applied for the Modeller's Moments. So thank you very much for responding. Who else have we got in also now? Anthony Gibbling, good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. You're never late. You're welcome to drop in at any point. Those eBay ones, Andy, are really good value. Jason Hornby, Scaledale Walls. No, we're just getting to that now, actually. These are they were off eBay. Now, Mark of Main Trains also got the same ones, which was a complete coincidence. I can't remember where they're from, but they are precast made and pre-weathered. These are really, really nice. And they're actually, I have actually trimmed a few, but these are really good. You will obviously will need to adjust them a little bit to your own needs. But they link together, they overlap together, like so, which is good. And if you look in front of the church, they create a nice little stone wall in front of the church as well. So what I'm not sure on is whether to have the stone wall in front of the pub or use the same fencing that we used on the opposite side and have fencing around it instead. Where what would look better, I'm unsure. If I did the fencing though, I would probably paint, not happily have that black. I'd probably spray it up in a brownie colour or something along them sort. Thank you very much, Flymo. Made a good job on them fences. They do look good. Oh, right. Spot on with the pronunciation of Blair Gowrie. Oh, thank you very much. I got it right. So often I pronounce things right first time. And when I feel like I don't, I do apologise. Blair Gowrie. Rightio. The walls are just fantastic. Yes, they are. And you get an absolute mountain of these. I can't remember how much they were. I've had them for quite some time. But I've got a box full of them as well. Well, put it this way. Let me just take this stuff out of here. You see the ones that I've got in here? I've got all of those in there and at least the same amount again on top of that. And I think I only paid, it must have only been about £8, maybe £7, maybe even less. And that was, I think that was with postage. I can't remember. I might be wrong, but I'm sure Mark may be able to just clarify on how much he paid for his. But yeah, you get absolutely loads of these, and they are well worth it. The weathering on them is lovely. It's really, the weathering is completely random. They don't all fit perfectly together. As you can see, if I sit them up there, you can see the gap. But with a bit of shrubbery and stuff, if we go that way, they do fit that way. So I mean, you've got to play around with them, but they are brilliant. And I came across these by accident a long time ago. I was going to use them over on the far side where the church and pub was going to be, but obviously that's moved to here now. So I still wanted to use them in the same scene. So unsure, £8.99 just for the huge bundle. Yeah, that's. I thought it was right. I thought it was about £8. So yeah, these are absolutely. What I'll do is after the show tonight, while the football's on, what I'll try and do is I'll find a link to these and I'll post them in the comments of this live stream afterwards, and I'll pin it to the top. So all of those that you're interested in these stone walls, you can go check them out for yourselves and see what you think. But do recommend them if you want some stone walling. And let's say they're not, how can I say, uniform. They're completely random, and that's probably one of the top things that really stands out for me, because they're not uniform. Pretty much every piece is different, and it would be great for a big hillside where you've got the rolling stone walls coming down and that sort of stuff. I keep the stone wall, looks good and great value. Rightio, still on, great stuff. Right, let me just move that stuff out of the way because it's going to be in the way of my mouse. Put that back in there. So not sure whether to have the stone walling in front of the pub, but definitely the stone walling will be in front of the church. This stripping I may take off. That might be coming off around here. And if I do, I'm going to continue the stone wall around the church. Or I might just lower this section that's around the church to put the stone wall in. I'm not sure. Umming and ahhing on that. Just looking at the chat, probably for not saying hello last night. My lateness, that was to David Cook from Flymo, no problem. But what I want to talk to about is a website. Now, if we look at the back of the pub, If I was to put stone walling along the back of the pub, I didn't think it would look particularly right, because you just have people hopping over the stone wall into the grounds of the pub. That means there's no, it's the pub, you wouldn't really necessarily have that. I did think about maybe putting some more of this fencing and have that continue down the side here, from here, and continue it up to the pub. But then I thought, what do gardens, what do pubs have? Well, they have panelled fencing, don't they? And I wanted to have a look at whether I could get some. And I got this. 6 foot panelled fencing, or it's 5 foot panel with 1 foot trellising on the top. Let's see if we can bring that to the camera. There we go. So this is panelled fencing. It is obviously of a new state. It's not clean or algaed. I will weather this up. I thought that would be the more prototypical thing to have alongside here between the little footpath and the pub garden. And this is a free, this is one of hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of free kits. And as you can see, I did the download from the website that in question, and you get one download gave me 2 A4 sheets of these exact same fencing. And basically it's dead easy. You just literally cut it out, and then what I did, using some thin card, that's what's left of it, I glued the cutout, folded it over the top, and then cut out the card with it on, and that was the finished result. A little bit long for there, but it's absolutely fine. And this website is, and I'll tilt the camera up for this, the website is, in fact, there's the information about it. Try and get it so it's in the camera. It says there, glue to 300 GSM or thicker card. Score along line, fold over and glue. And it's wooden fence with trellis top. And this was, along with everything else, free from Wordsworth Model Railways .co.uk. No, is it .com? Oh, I can't remember. It's either .co.uk or .com. But if you just put in Wordsworth Model Railways, it comes up with the website anyway. And I've been on it so many times before. In fact, that back scene there, those trees, they're from Wordsworth Model Railways as well. That was a downloadable printout from them. And I haven't been on it for quite some time. And I was looking for fencing, and they had one as a free download. And that's what was produced. And I'm quite pleased with that. Obviously, where the trellis bit is, you would normally see daylight through there. But I'm not particularly fussed. I'm not fussed at all whether it stays like that, because once it's dirtied up and that, you're not really going to see anything on it anyway. Flymo's doing a fantastic job. Always does. Top man. So, yeah, that is what's now going to go on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the panel. I'm either going to run the panel fencing up to the end of the pub, or I'll carry the fence paneling up to the very front of the pub. Maybe leaving a gap at the very bottom here. You just see there, maybe a little gap for a gate or something, maybe get into there for as a fire exit possibly. But yeah, I am really, really pleased with that downloadable kit. So please check out. Could you put a link also in description of those downloads, please, Jason? I absolutely will, Mark. Don't you worry. I certainly will. So I'll get a link for the stone walls and the free downloadable kits. And I'll tell you what, you'll be quite surprised how much free stuff is on there. The entire website, it must have thousands of kits on there that you can download, print out yourself, and produce. And there's pretty much ranging from anything you can think of, from trackside to city, town scenes, country stuff, buildings, platforms, stations, signals, walls, just loads of stuff. It's having enough time to go through the website and have a proper look. Unless you're actually looking for something particular, you'll be spending hours on there just having a nosy round. I'm going to say they're not like high spec, top of the range detailed stuff, as you expect from a lot of the really well known manufacturers. But if you're wanting, especially if you're wanting to build something on a budget, definitely worth checking out. Wordsworth Model Railways. In fact, there we go. Flymo chairman is on the ball here. There is the link for the printout to the website. It is a .co.uk, I do think. So I can't see the rest of the link. I'll just bring it up on my screen when it decides to do something. So everybody's doing good. Great stuff indeed. And wow, already 30 minutes into the show. So what I would like to do now is I'm going to start with a bit of grassing around the church area. Now, let me just take the camera over to the church. As I mentioned, I've been marking out, if I can get that to tilt down, can you see? It's not very bright. In fact, let me bring it so the light behind the camera. That might help. Now you can see it. So as you can see, the dotted lines, there is just a rough outline of the pathway going from the entrance to the church. I was wondering if someone's noted something yet, but nobody has. But then the pathway will also continue around the back of the church. And we go over the top, under there, it goes underneath that leg, it spins around there, the church back, knocks it, and then comes round the back of there, and then back again. Because that's what you definitely see in a church. You see a little gravel path going around the church. Anyone noticed anything about the church yet? Nobody seems to have commented about it. Can you do my link one more time, please, Flymo? Please don't pester him too much. He has got a lot of links to be dropping in. New Durham Junction, good evening to you. Thanks for dropping by. Northern Rails, Craig, also Northern Rails 44, good evening to you. Thank you for dropping by. Thomas Whittingham, hi Jason, hope you are well and all the best. Tom, very well indeed we are. Thank you very much for dropping in. As always, as I've mentioned also at the beginning of the show, this is a shorter than normal show this week due to the match taking part at Effingham's. Yes, that was one thing, but I actually forgot about mentioning that. Excuse me. I've not raised it up, no. Now, when I worked out the space that I would need once raised up, it made it a little bit difficult for if I was to create the mound. Then again, what I could do is go around the edge of the pathway and create the mound up for it to sit on, maybe. But as it stands, I changed my mind on the mound. But now you've mentioned that, and now looking at that, I could create the mound around the edging of this path, just fractionally. You got me thinking now. You really got me thinking now. So what I want to do is, I did mention earlier, we're going to have trees along that fencing, but what I can't do is put the trees in before I've grassed it. Oh, I need to grass and etc., all this area before I do any trees. What I can do is put the path in first and then grass over it, kind of, if you get me gist. Wordsworth Model Railways is, yeah, he's got a channel as well, but the website, was it the website he's posted? He's posted, did he post the link for the website or the, oh right, he's posted the link for the website. Yeah, excellent stuff. Put it on a mound with a blue slate wall around it. Oh, I wonder where we'll get the blue slate from, Craig. So what I'm going to do, as I've mentioned, I marked it so I could do this. Remove stuff. Okay. So I need to remove stuff to be able to do anything in this area. So I'm going to move that camera as well. Let's just shift it over there. Well, in fact, what I want to do, let me just bring these carriages. I'm using these carriages to gauge the overhang. What I'm going to do, if I put that there, let's see if I can give you the view looking through that fence. So there you go, you're getting the view from the fence. In fact, if I take that and take that there we go. Ignore the whiteness, that's the glue that's gone a bit white. So I think that the view is pretty right. You see trains whizzing past there. I think that would really, it's going to look pretty spectacular once we get the trees in, get some overgrowth in there, and yeah, I think it'll look pretty good. Whizzing around, let me move that. So yeah, trains whizzing around past here. Yeah, I think that's going to look pretty good. Anyway, less of that and admiring the work. Let's get on with this. Yep, up in the air you go. Right. So there's our church area that we're working on. Can't seem to post a link to my channel. Yes, only moderators are able to post links, Hollybrook. And Flymo is on the case. He is posting links to as many channels as possible. Tonight's show is all about everybody in the chat. Everybody is getting a shout out link posted, with it being a super short show. And Flymo is on the ball as always. Top notch moderator. Highly appreciated his work. He does a superb job. Right. Oop, hang on. Let's get my camera sorted. There we go. We're back to business again. Right. So we're gonna we'll do the gravel first. Okay. So the gravel I'm going to be using. Where's my glue gun? Where's it gone? Right. So I'm going to be using a mixture of different stuff. I'm going to be having a go with the scenic cement again. We're also going to be having a go with the WWS Fast Tack glue. And I'm also going to just try a bit of standard PVA. I'm thinking this one will be the best, but I don't have much left of it, and I'm awaiting a new batch to be delivered. So what I might do is try a mixture of the two. I might use this to cover the pathway area to start with, sprinkle the gravel on, and then seal it on with the scenic cement. Okay, so let me just move stuff out of the way so I've got space to work. Right, so first of all, I need to open the gravel. So I've got a knife here. I don't want a big hole in it. I just want a tiny, tiny hole. So it just gives me a tiny sprinkling point. Yeah, that's right. So as I said, we're going to use the Fast Tack as the base glue. Just get the sealed glue bit off the top. There we go. So here we go. We're going to run a bead along the pathway and then down around the outer edge. Now the pathway won't be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. We'll just do a little bit extra on that because it's a thicker path. Okay. And now, if I would try, I don't know what I've done with my little spatula. In fact, I don't really want to be using that. I've got a little paint spreader somewhere. Where have I put it? Ba 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 da ba ba. I'm gonna put my paint spreader. I'm gonna have to use this brush and I'll wash it out afterwards. It is spreading itself a bit, so I'm now just going to spread it about. We all know how glue spreads. So that's pretty simple. All I need it to do. Okay. Right. So a bit wider there at the gate there. There we go. Spread it out. Right. Place that somewhere where I'm not going to touch it with my arm. Right, let's get the gravel. That's actually spread out quite well, that is. So, there we go. Simple as that. And where's my brush? There it is. I'll just wipe that brush. So that will soak down into that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it down into the glue. Wherever there is no glue, it obviously won't stick. A little bit more on that far side, just there. Okay, pressed it down. I'm going to really press it in now. Just like you would doing normal ballasting on your track line. Now I would possibly have used some isopropyl alcohol on this, but it's slightly different as I'm putting the glue down first. But what I will do is I'll add some before I do the scenic cementing, so then that is gets the ability to then soak through. So we don't want a perfect path around it. Just like watching Tony Hart. Oh, showing your age there, Jeff, and I'm showing my age by saying, yes, I know exactly what you mean. What's that? Use your fingers. Yes, yeah. So I'm just going to brush in, around the edges to create that position for the edge of the path. obviously any loose bits I can put where the it's a bit thin on the ground. Just where the stones are a bit thin on the ground. Now, just like with the ballasting of the lines, this will take next to no time to dry up. I can guarantee. Within probably by the end of tonight, although it's not as hot at the moment, the current weather isn't, it is very, very warm up here in the loft tonight. I haven't got the window open purposely. Straighten that up. The rest will be hoovered. Right, so where's my isopro? There it is. So let's soak that now. So that's soaking, and straight I can see that the ballast is changing a very nice darker colour. When it's finished, it will be a lot darker because I plan to weather it. So, and to finish off, I'll apply, because I don't want the gravel to move anymore now. Now apply the scenic cement over the top. And that's it. That will be left, and that's now to be left to dry. Yeah, I'm quite liking how that's working out. I can see that the isopro is breaking up the thickness of the glue. Just seeing an area where I might just add a little tiny bit more, and that's just at this entrance that way here in front of the camera. That's it. Just pat that down into the glues. Right. That's pretty much it there for that. I'll just tidy up around the edges now. Any loose gravel rolled off to the sides. Actually coming out quite well, that is. I plan to have some benches around here as well. In fact, those Metcalf benches I mentioned a few weeks ago, I think those would look the part around this churchyard. Some for people to sit and rest and remember their loved ones. The OCD's kicking in now. Catch up on the chat. Scrapline's in. Good evening, Scrapline. Clive Cobbold is in. Good evening to you. Thanks for dropping by. Growler's in. Good evening, Growler. You in? Hope you are well, my friend. Right, so let's go the opposite way. Let's get the inner stones now. Sticking to the brush. Yeah, my OCD is really kicking in now. All these little stones at the sides. really getting to me now. I'm thinking, no, don't want that there. It's actually drying while I'm doing this because some of these are already sticking to the wood, the base. Right, I think my LCDs can rest now. I think we're all right. Right, yes, I think we are. So what I'm going to do now is going to have a look at the grasses. Now, you get lots of different colours of grasses in a churchyard. You get the long grasses, you get the old grasses, you get the fresh green grasses, you get patchy, you get muddy grasses. And that's kind of what I want to give an effect on here. The front of the church will be a nice lusher green, but the further back you go and further towards the railway line, it will be a lot older and less well kept grass, if you know what I mean. Let's have a look in the chat. Flymo is absolutely doing so well. Tonight's show is all about everybody that's in chat is getting a shout out via a link for their channel, each to check out each other out. It is a shorter show than average, and in fact we're getting very close to kick-off time. Wordsworth Model Railway is pretty good. I was thinking about making my own bridge next to the cardboard hill on my layout with the plate girder bridges side from Jumble Lane. Can do it now. There we go. Right, so we've got 9 minutes until football kicks off. It has been a short show this week. Yes, we've got some progress done, which is all good stuff. Hopefully by next week, I'll get some of the grassing done, or I might leave it. And what I might do is I might get the rest of this graveling done around this area in here. And I might look at just putting a bit of a mound in here. I'll see. Can't make no promises. Can't make no promises at all, but we'll see what we do. But yeah, that's a very simple way of laying a gravel path. I bet you can see it better now. It was a bit lit up. So main entrance. In fact, let me get the church now. Let's see how that positions in there now. Just need a little bit more gravel just there. Let's have a look around the back. It's just sat on the gravel path a little bit, but I can. There we go. Got rid of it. Let's check that side. That side's fine. So a little bit more gravel there. I put a bit too much gravel around the side, so I'll get that bit there filled in. I might rotate that round a little bit. Just check that. Don't want that path. No, that's fine. There we go. That'll do it. So, OCD. Sticking to my fingers. So that's in. Let's have a look at the entranceway. That will be going in roughly there. Let's have a look. So I'll push that into there. So yeah, coming off all right. That will look all right once we get it on. The gravel does lift up the land a bit as well. Superb stuff. And for those that you hadn't noticed, I asked a question. Anyone notice anything different about the church? Nobody that I saw in chat actually noticed. But if I do this, you might notice now. And then come back over here. You notice now. I moved the front porch as I wanted the church to be tower to the front. I didn't want the porchway around the back, so I moved it. Managed to peel it off and put it on that side instead. Yes, it does have stained glass windows. I did a video about that some time ago. Please check it out. Right, so 5 minutes to go. I've 19 to go for 200, says Northern. I have to add some more videos. Yes, stained glass windows. Subscribe to everyone saying well done. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I say only a quick short one. We're all getting off to go and watch the football. We wish England all the best in tonight's match. If you are watching, I'll be alongside you enjoying the match. Fingers crossed they do win. And back to normal time next week. But I have got something to announce next week. So if you want to know what that announcement is, make sure you tune in next week for next Tuesday's YouTube Tuesday with Barnabas Junction from 8 p.m. next week. So until then, take care, everybody. Thank you very much to Flymo. As always, he's been absolutely top notch. Thank you very much for dropping by for this very short episode. As the normal, I will see you next week. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and remember to everybody, please do keep on modeling. Take care. See you next week. Bye from me.